merry meet and fare thee well. Settle in for a story with me, Astin Gaël. Thank you so much for joining me here today. This is your every other day collective message for Tuesday, May the 19th. Everything you need to know is in the description box down below, including the link to my wish list. My birthday is in 3 days on the 22nd. So if you would like to say happy birthday, thank you for bringing us these readings, I'd appreciate it. If you are enjoying these messages, please be sure to give the channel a subscribe and this video a like. We are reading our way through What There Is to Love About a Man, and we are creating a short story around the theme of the excerpt each day. Today's theme is surrender. When a man decides that it's time to let go, it's a pleasure to see him surrender. He stops resisting, ceases the struggle, and instantly realizes how good it feels to stop banging his head against the wall. He has acknowledged that he hasn't got a clue, and that he no longer is grasping to get one. He's ready to accept that his plan is not working, and he'll get out of the way so another plan can. He's been holding back a landslide forever, it seems, and he's spent, and he is so very tired. Like a fish, he now knows that you can't fight the river. Instead, he's decided to go with the flow. We watch his fingers slowly unclench and unfold as he opens his heart to a new way of receiving. He'll step back so something better can come forth. He's ready to give over his personal will, and by doing so, he'll find greater power. When a new wind blows through, it's a sigh of release. When at last he says, "Yes, I surrender." Yeah. A man with that divine feminine all up in him, we love to see it. I brought my charms, but I used them on the last 2 readings. So let's start off with our character deck to find out who is surrendering. I surrender. All right, so we've got the coffee in the reverse at the bottom of the deck here. So there's something about slowing down as well, which is definitely required when you surrender, when you give yourself over to the day, to the month, to the year. Just slowing the fuck down. Yeah. The motherfucking audacity of you to just sit there and be pleased. But that is exactly what it looks like to surrender. Maybe you're surrendering to not having the money in the bank that you want to have. Maybe you're surrendering to not being in a relationship with anyone. You're surrendering to softness. I know I see that. You are surrendering to a relationship that is balanced with self, the masculine and the feminine in perfect harmony within. And honestly, when you find yourself in that place, who the fuck needs an external partner? Like, you are your own soulmate, bitch. Just be happy with you. Um, okay, yeah. The cocktail in the reverse. Like, you ain't giving out your cup of love. Not for free, anyways. You know, like, uh, this is not an open bar. These drinks cost money. No, I'm not seeing you being like transactional with your love. I'm just seeing you being like, look, I don't have a cup of love to give right now. Like, what is what did it say? He's been holding back a landslide forever, it seems, and he's spent, and he's so very tired. You know, I I use the metaphor um, in our memoir um, of having a very specific KINK. I gotta spell some of this out on YouTube. Um, that is holding back, um, not letting loose. And I kind of get the sense that maybe you are doing that with your sexual energy as well. That you are engaging in conservation of your resources. Uh, so, yeah, like, however that says to you, you are conserving your resources, both your life force energy, your financial resources, and your emotional resources. Like, when you realize that you don't have the love to give to people that they are looking for, you don't have to meet them with hate. In fact, hating people costs a lot more energy than loving them, but you don't have to meet them with anything. You know, like, you're just realizing that it's okay to just not give out energy when you don't have it to give. Um, yeah, our life force energy is not as easy as, you know, the coffee beans are that we fuel ourselves with every morning. It's easy to make a pot of coffee. It is not easy to fill back up your will, your, you know. So tell me about this Nine of Cups. Cool. So we've got the Five of Pipes in the reverse, Five of Wands in the reverse. You're not quarreling with anybody. I like that word, quarreling. It's very fancy. It's not fighting. Quarreling is more like just being flustered, you know, with people, with um, energies, with messaging. Um, I find myself doing this on social media a lot, you know, just catching myself being very flustered with what I've passed by, with what I've seen in my feed, and wanting to let people know that I'm flustered. But what fucking good does that do me or that person? They don't want to listen to what I've got to say. they're making their opinion known. Me coming at them with the antithesis of their opinion isn't doing anybody any good. Eight of Swords in the reverse, you're not getting caught up in your own mess either. So not only are you not, quarreling with others, you're not quarreling within yourself. The Five of Wands in the reverse, but then the Five of Wands upright. Like, oh, there are energies that are very connected to this devil-like energy that would love to see you quarrel, for sure. And isn't that always the way? When you are actively trying not to be like that, there are people out there that are, red-eyed and upset that would like for you to be like that. Six of Pentacles in the reverse. They think that energy would somehow throw off your abundance. And honestly, it probably would, because you would be wasting your life force energy in quarreling with people and not making money. So, okay. There's a Queen of Swords involved here, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, feminine, that is also in the Nine of Cups energy. So this could be like your counterpart. Seven of Wands in the reverse, King of Wands in the reverse, Justice in the reverse. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So this Queen of Swords wants to come forward with a truth about a contract, some paperwork, some paperwork that it's being trashed, it's being thrown out by this King of Wands in the reverse, somebody that's very vengeful, but they weren't gonna get the justice that they felt that they deserved. They weren't gonna, it wasn't, nothing was gonna come to balance. So there is there's paperwork being thrown out. There's a contract being put to an end. Okay. Tell me more about the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Death upright. So there's an ending to a relationship cycle that you have been in, that you have been hopelessly repeating. I keep looking over at this card. March 14th could be significant. Okay, that's just unnecessary. Okay. Tell me about this endlessly repeating cycle. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. A water sign and a fire sign. I'm getting like the Mars placement or the Venus placement. So a water sign Mars and a fire sign Mars, or a water sign Venus and a fire sign Venus, are ending a cycle. The Knight of Wands in the reverse. The fire sign could be a younger Aries, Leo, Sag, and I mean younger like in the mind. They're kind of a whiny little bitch. I'm literally hearing like somebody whining in my ear. They're very lost, like a lost little puppy. Okay, they don't know anything, but they sure would like to. They want to uncover something, possibly something about you, maybe a way to keep this cycle from ending. Yeah, they want to know, like, if they bring you an offer of money, would you turn over that Ace of Cups and offer them love? Going back to that transactional kind of relationship, once you come to balance with your masculine and feminine energies, it's really hard for people to lure you into transactional relationships. So, nonogram. So there's something. You have fundamentally different belief systems with this person. Not only is that water and fire energy not exactly cohesive, the way that the two of you look at the world is just completely different. And if you can't agree on your basic moral principles, it's pretty hard to have an intimate relationship with someone that you fundamentally disagree with. So it's interesting that this person thinks they can, buy their way out of that. Tell me more about this nonogram. Yeah, so there's really something about capturing your desires. What is it that you want from a relationship? Something may be revealed to them or to you during the next final quarter moon. Something about not being able to tame a person's wildness. Now, I get the feeling that you have tamed your wildness, but only because you allow it when it suits you. There are people that want to come into your energy, come into your life that want that to be tamed 24/7, 365. And it's interesting, they do it via getting you stirred up. Kind of an energy of like rattling the cage of a kind of trauma beaten, abused dog so much that it stops fighting you back. Really sick, honestly. This could be a mother figure. Yeah. So the Knight of Wands energy does not have a gender. The Aries, Leo, Sag in the reverse could be a feminine energy. And it's a Aries, Leo, Sag, Venus, or Mars. They use a lot of wordplay, which brings in that Queen of Swords. Their feminine energy might come out as a Queen of Swords in the upright. Their masculine energy might come out as a Knight of Wands in the reverse. They fancy love as more of like an obsession kind of energy. You know, if you are not just enamored with every move they fucking make, they do not feel loved. And I think ever since you found yourself in this satisfied and single energy, you find yourself quite annoyed with that kind of energy at this point. It's very bizarre for someone to need to be just possessed with the energy of love at all times. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just read this one out here. But bound for the phantom shadows, the light on the night is clear. The beat in her chest is vengeance as constellations steer. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Her on through the fire as she burns through the tide. Heave, hi, ho, hum. There's nowhere you can hide. If you resonate with being the water sign Mars or Venus, it might be a Mars in Cancer or Venus in Pisces, matching up with this Aries, Leo, Sag, Mars, or Aries, Leo, Sag, Venus. That was an interesting one, and it's all I've got. Until next time, be well, be